I'm Rich Lashbrook. I'm a captain on the Franklin Fire Department, and I've been going to the Indianapolis 500 since I was 9 years old, and this will be my 54th 500 in a row this year. And this is my story. My mom and dad took me, and we sat in Grandstand C on the main straightaway. It was still an old wooden grandstand with the roof on it. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me, why? What do you love about it? And it's just everything. Look, Al Unser Jr. said it better than anybody else. He said, Indy 500 is life itself. That's it. It was 1967. I had a job out there that year. I was bussing tables up in the penthouse. And the first day, they ran 18 laps and it rained it out, so they ran the rest of it the next day, and I come out there to work. And I got in, they said, well, we didn't have a chance to stock the concession stands, so we got nothing for you to do. So I just got to wander around the track all day and watch the race, and at the end of it, I was on the back stretch right against the fence. And didn't have a radio because I thought I was going to be working that day. And Parnelli Jones had just dominated the entire race with the turbine. And with 3 laps to go, he went by us and just barely moving. And you knew he'd broke down and stuff. And that put Foyt in the lead, which just thrilled me to no end. And on the last lap, we're probably halfway down the back stretch. Foyt goes by. About the time he'd be coming out of the 4th turn, Tom Carnegie started screaming, "There's a wreck at the head of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the main straightaway. Where's A.J. Foyt? Did he get through? Did he get through? Did he get through?" And I'm telling you, at that moment, the universe stopped. You could have heard a pin drop out there. There wasn't a sound. And then all of a sudden, there he is, there he is. And man, that whole place erupted. And it was just, I still get goosebumps thinking about it. That was really something. My dad died in '73, and I worshiped the ground he walked on. And I remember watching the '82 race on ABC that year, and they interviewed Lil Lau and about him hopefully coming next year, and he talked about his dad. And he said if he could follow his dad in his dad's footsteps, and he said, and I don't mean as a race car driver, I mean just as a man, if I can stay 1 step behind him in his footsteps, I'd be satisfied with life. And I thought, well, that's how I feel about my dad. So ever since then, I've loved that kid. And I've got to talk to him, and my wife got me an oil painting of him, and we took it out there in '94, and Al signed it for me and talked to me. So I've talked to Al 4 or 5 times since then. I don't know if he'll remember it or not, but that's all right, I remember it. It's something I love sharing with everyone I love. And well, we got 7 kids, and now we got 13 grandkids. We got 7 in-laws. I've tried to share it with all of them. Some of them took to it, some of them didn't. The ones that didn't, I don't understand how they find their way home at night. But because to me, it's just automatic. It's just, how can you not I just don't understand. How can you not love it after you've been there? How can you not want to go back? It just, it boggles the mind to me. If the gates open at 6, we leave the house at 6 because we live in Greenwood. If they open at 5, we leave the house at 5. I'll get up an hour before that, and everybody's asleep upstairs. I'll just open up the bedroom door, and I'll stand at the end of the hallway and just go, "It's race day in Indianapolis. Everybody up, let's go." And when one of our daughters was engaged, Tori told him, said, "I'll pick you up a 5:15 because Dad's leaving at 5. And he goes, "Oh, we don't have to leave that early." He said, we can be a little bit late. And Tori said, "No, you got to remember this is race day. Dad says he's leaving at 5. At 5:01, he's gone." And one of her girlfriends was there too, and she'd been to the race with us 3 or 4 times. Her girlfriend said, "No, there's going to the 500, and then there's going with Tori's dad. They're 2 different things." And so he went with us, and they're married now. He hasn't missed a race day yet, and he's here at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, had one of our sons sit there one time, and he told me, he said, his girlfriend was going with us, he said, everybody's got to be in the seat by 10. He was working out there, he's doing photography out there. He said, I get a break. He said, have everybody in the seat by 10. So about 9:30, I told everybody, I said, come on, we need to get in there. And that year, the race didn't start till 1 o'clock. And nobody argued with me, but I come to find out later that one of the son-in-laws sat there and said, what are we going so early for? And his wife said, shut up, Dad wants to go, so just shut up and take it. And nobody knew why my son had asked me to do this. So we got there, and his girlfriend was with us, and here he come, and we're 5 rows from the top of the grandstand, and he's at the bottom, and he holds up these big signs, will you marry me? And everybody's going nuts and stuff, but I knew what was going on. I knew what was happening. So that, you know, that not only do I have great memories now, my kids are having great memories too. It's just magic. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just, you've got to see it to believe it. Jim Neighbor sings Back Home Again, Indiana, and taps, and by the time all that's, before they get to Gentlemen Start Your Engines, I'm crying like a baby. I think about my dad a lot. My dad died in '73, and I've missed him every day of the year, every day since. And I feel like he's there with me. And I think about all the drivers through the years that I've watched and that have died, and that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking mostly of my dad and how much he loved it, and I love it too, and how much I loved him, and how I just wish to God he could be there with me, that I could share it with him, and that he could, because he shared it with me, and now I'd want to share it with, show him that I came out all right. You know, I read an article one time, and it's just, in Daytona, you know, the Daytona 500, or in Phoenix, it's the Phoenix 250 or whatever, but in Indianapolis, it's the race. You know, it's just the race. The Indianapolis 500 is the Indianapolis 500, and everything else is just a race.